What's up guys, it's Light Spiral here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video on what I'm going to be calling the poor man's Woochi. So what I mean by poor man's is it's just a monster that has a relatively similar role that this Woochi has, but it's easier to obtain. So Woochi is a normal element nat 4. Something that would be considered poor man relative to him would be either something that's anything that's farmable, and any nat 3s, nat 2s, nat 1s. So if it's in the fusion hexagram, I'd say it's poor man's because this guy is not in the fusion hexagram. But any light dark nat 3s I would not count unless they're farmable, because it's probably easier to get Woochi than a lot of light dark nat 3s. First, I'll just go over what Woochi does so you guys can understand, and then I'll go into the monster and explain what they do and why they're similar. So Woochi's first skill, it's pretty solid. What he does is he decreases the attack power for 1 turn, and if he crits, he'll also make them glance for 1 turn. So if you want to build him for crit rate, you can, but normally you just build them with speed, HP, accuracy, but the attack should land. The second skill attacks everyone 2 times, and each has a 30% chance to decrease the attack bar by 30%. So that's a pretty solid skill. It's just a CC skill. If you have Despair, you can also get Despair stuns on that. And then the last skill is his kind of like claim to fame. This goes down to a 5-turn cooldown, and it's AoE attack bar reset to 0. So this is a pretty good skill. And then he has a leader skill, which more or less is useless. You won't be using him somewhere where you need resistance. So basically the only place people are using Woochi is in TOA and TOA hard, because they just use him for crowd control. I've made a video of him in Giant Speed 10 if you want to check it out. But he's not the best Giant Speed 10 monster, he's really more of a TOA monster. So the monster I'm going to be choosing to replace him is of course going to do what he does in a TOA scene. So the monster that I'm going to say is the poor man's Woochi is this right here. Eluin, I guess you pronounce it, the Water Elven Ranger. I actually think that this monster is pretty solid, but very overlooked. So I'll go over her skills really quick with you guys. First skill will fire 2 times and a 3rd chance according to your crit rate. So this one, if you build it with high crit rate, you will get 3 hits, which is very nice. And you'll probably want to get the 3 hits because each hit has a 30% chance to decrease the target's attack bar by 15. So if you have 100 crit, you'll likely get at least 1 attack bar reduction, which will be 15%. So that's pretty nice. You have to awaken it to get the skill though. When it's non-awakened, it doesn't do the bonus effect. The second skill will attack an enemy and stun it for the 30% chance. And if you do end up stunning them, you'll get another turn. So I believe this goes down to 3-turn cooldown, and so if you stun them, it's a violent proc, and you can either decrease attack gauge or use this 3rd skill, which is what's really similar to Woochi's. So it only decreases their attack by 30%. Unless they're stunned, then it's a reset, and then it's a 5-turn cooldown when it's max. So it's just like Woochi's if they're stunned. So if the whole team is stunned, this skill is literally identical to Woochi. Same cooldown, same effect. The only difference is this would be water units. This is a water unit, so you'll glance on wind, whereas Woochi will glance on fire. So that is a slight difference. This one doesn't have a leader skill, but Woochi might as well not have a leader skill. They're both pretty similar. This one can be used in TOA just like Woochi. If you're going to count the 3rd skills as the same, the only difference is the first 2 skills. I would say her skill might be better. You get attack age decrease, whereas Woochi you get attack debuff. So they're both pretty good. And then the second skill, Woochi's would definitely be better. He's got the AoE attack age decrease with its 30% chance, and it hits twice, whereas she can potentially stun 1 target and then get a violent proc. Basically with her you don't need despair runes, I wouldn't say, at least, because normally you'll want the whole team to be stunned and then you'll reset their attack gauge. So if you're using something like a Tyrant or a Gildong or Wound Hack or something, then she'll get AoE, the whole team will already be stunned, and then you just reset their attack hit. So you don't really need the Despair runes. She's actually a lot better with Violent, so you can get the turns more often. And I'm sure you guys can see why she's similar to Woochi. I haven't actually built one myself. I do have a Woochi though that's built. Kind of interested in trying her out. I don't really need her anymore though. I can already clear TOA. She's a pretty interesting monster that I might end up making some more videos on in the future, because I think that she's really like underlooked. Because a lot of people do like Woochi, but I never hear people talking about this girl. So you might see something on that in the future. Try this girl out if you want to. If you're looking to use Woochi in TOA and you don't have one, definitely try this out and tell me how you liked it or didn't like it. As well as if there's any other poor man's monsters you can think of, be sure to mention that in the comments too, and I might make a video on it. But I think that's really all I have for today though, guys. So may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows.